Good morning and welcome to video message number 30. We've been at this exactly a month now, and I got quite a few issues to cover today, so I'm gonna get started. The first thing is goddamn, I gotta quit watching the news. The other thing is the internet. Jesus Christ, it'll kill you or piss you off, one or the other. First thing I'd like to cover is a law that just passed and signed into law here in Oklahoma by Governor Fallon. And you know, I respect that lady quite a bit because she's helped us out here in the state of Oklahoma right along with our politicians of keeping the damn animal rights people out of here. But, you know, she signed into law to approve the use of CBD here in the state of Oklahoma, but it's only under experimental causes and only for children. You know, the problem that I have with that, I'm damn glad that the kids finally have some kind of pain relief coming and a cure for cancer and some other diseases. But what about the rest of us that are sick here in the state of Oklahoma? It should be our choice to be able to either use a drug that is extracted from something that grows on our planet instead of getting hooked on oxycodone and Loratab. And you know, you passed up one of the most awesome opportunities, just like the state of Ohio did here this week by voting no on making marijuana legalized. You know, I myself, I don't smoke weed or smoke pot, but being sick, I should have the opportunity to be able to use anything I want in order to make my life a little more comfortable. But the sad part is Jesus Christ, have you seen how much tax money the state of Colorado's making off of this shit? $66 million in a month. What the hell could the state of Oklahoma or the state of Ohio do with 66 free million tax dollars in a month in order to rebuild shit and pay the teachers more and take care of our children in school a little bit better? But the worst problem is you make marijuana illegal and it's got medical reasons to be used, but you're selling alcohol and killing tens and thousands of people every day at every gas station and quick stop and grocery store in the entire country. Why are you selling alcohol that's a bigger killer than somebody being stoned at home? You know, they passed that law in Colorado. You can't smoke it in your car. You can't open a bag until you get home. You can have it in your house, but that's it. What the hell difference does it make what you do in somebody's house versus being drunk driving down the road killing somebody? And then the other thing I saw on the news was the right to live argument going on in California right now. You know, Oregon right now is the only state in the United States that you have the right to euthanize yourself legally and humanely if you're sick and have a disease and you'd rather just pass away on your own instead of laying there suffering the rest of your life. You know, the big problem with any of that is it should be my right to be able to decide when I want to end my life instead of suffering, instead of my neighbor or my governor or my politicians. Shouldn't be even up to a public vote. It should just be the law that we can humanely euthanize ourselves or our loved ones when it comes to the point that the quality of life is no longer worth living. Now, when I was 13, I had my first job. That first job was in a nursing home. You people that are fighting for animal laws and everything else are about it, the hypocritical bastards I've ever seen. Because you know something? Humans are the most cruelest and selfishest bastards I've ever seen in my life. 3 miles from here, we've got a state school that kids and adults are tied to backboards on wheels in a hallway. They don't even know who the hell they are. When I worked in a nursing home when I was 13 years old, them people don't even know they're alive. But what do? We lock them up in state schools, we lock them up in nursing homes. Half these people never see a visitor, let alone the bed sores and everything else. But this is okay with people, but you're spending millions trying to decide whether or not I should own a fucking tiger or not. We need to get our priorities straight in this country because we're locking up our moms and dads and elderly people, and these people are having babies that they don't want because they're genetically flawed or something else is going on, and you're locking them up in a goddamn prison calling it state school, and half these people never ever see a human being or a loved one again. But that's okay. Why is that okay? Because we think we're so superior than anything else on this planet. Let me tell you people something. We're so fucked up we ain't got our priorities straight enough to wipe our ass or flush the toilet first. There's 2 laws that they're introducing into Congress this year to try and pass. One of them's the Big Cat Safety Act, which will stop a whole lot of this stuff with big cats. The only problem is it's all a fraud, and I'm fixing to go into that later. But they're introducing another bill called the Primate Safety Act, which will stop people from taking primates across state lines and breeding primates, and a lot of them ain't gonna be able to keep their primates in their houses anymore. The problem with that shit is the primate people that I know take better care of their primates than most people take care of their kids. I've been to places where the entire top level of a house is built nothing but for the monkeys. And I'm not talking spending a couple $100. I'm talking about spending $30,000, $40,000 to make sure a $5,000 monkey lives just like a human kid does. And that should be their right, is to take care of their monkeys and have whatever pets they want in this country. One lady got her face ripped off in this country, and we completely freaked the fuck out. And that had nothing to do with the chimpanzee being mean. The chimpanzee should have never been put on Xanax or anything else. What should have happened with that ordeal right there is that lady should have been charged with animal cruelty for putting a fucking chimpanzee on Xanax to try and make him a pet and keeping him in the house in a little cage when he was that big. That's her fault. She should have dealt with that shit herself, just like I'm standing in a cage with 5 full-grown tigers. If they decide to eat me, that's my choice, and that's my fault. Has nothing to do with you, the lawmakers, the general public, or anybody else. This is my way of living, and nobody's gonna tell me any otherwise. So that brings me to a wise ass cracker that somebody sent me a link to a stupid goddamn radio show called Talking Animals with a gentleman on this talk show named William Nemo. Sound like some kind of little fucking goldfish swimming around in the ocean trying to save the other little goldfish or some shit like that movie Finding Nemo. This guy sounded just as goddamn stupid as that movie did. First thing is he claims to be a tiger expert. Never bred a tiger, never had a tiger as a pet or anything else, and gets on this radio show out of Tampa, Florida. That should be the first fucking clue that this is all bullshit. But when you have somebody like him that's from New York trying to say how many tigers, he's a tiger expert, how many tigers we got in America, what the problem is with people breeding tigers and all this other bullshit. When the first 3 words come out of his mouth, Big Cat Rescue, Carolus Festus, and Patty Finch with the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries, you know this is a goddamn setup and a bunch of fucking lies. He's trying to tell us that there's 7,000 tigers in the wild, and if you add lions and leopards and jaguars and shit to that, we got 14,000. Let me tell you something, mister. You're about as stupid and bought off as Carol Baskin down there in Tampa, Florida. And how you can put these people all tied together is he goes down to Carolus Festus wild animal orphanage down there that closed down. She was one of the crookedest bitches in this industry. And then he ships 3 tigers over there to Big Cat Rescue and 4 tigers over there to Carolina Tiger Rescue. I can promise you probably the 3 tigers went to Big Cat Rescue are no longer alive. They're probably skinned and put in a goddamn gift shop down there on exhibit because it's cheaper to feed them that way, isn't it, Carol? But he gets into this tiger breeding and white tigers and genetics and all this bullshit. Let me tell you a secret, Mr. Nemo. I work with some of the top geneticists in the world, and I breed more tigers than anybody in this country. And you know what? White tigers were natural in the wild. It's called a heterozygous gene carried by an orange tiger. It's only in Bengal tigers, okay? Not in Siberian tigers like you said on your little radio show. And you can have 2 orange tigers have pure white babies anytime they want to when that genetic gene recesses. Humans have no control over this shit, all right? So you do not have to breed white tigers to their brother, father, mother, daughter, and sister in order to have white tiger babies, just like you said. And to show you that I know what the hell I'm talking about, Carol Baskin at Big Cat Rescue, right along with a bunch of other facilities, donated DNA to Texas A&M University to do a genetic background check to see if these had to be all related in order to be white. Guess what, motherfucker? Even the DNA that Carol sent down there, not one of them was related. Get on the internet and search White Tiger Genetics, Texas A&M, and you can read it from some of the top scientists in the fucking country. So I don't know where you get your bullshit that you're some kind of tiger expert in this country, but you do not have to inbreed tigers to have white tigers. Now, if you want to get into inbreeding, human beings are the worst inbred motherfuckers I've ever seen. All you have to do is go into town. Once again, I am damn sure not picking on genetically flawed kids because I feel damn sorry for them, and I do everything I can to help a little kid that's mentally retarded or handicapped or something else. But you go up here to this state school and you look at how some of these kids are living up into their 60s and 70s, strapped to backboards and tied to beds, and see what the hell we're doing with our own genetics before you start worrying about a tiger or lion's genetics, especially when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. All right, so let's get your numbers straight, Mr. Nemo. We're gonna chop the fins right off the back of your ass before you swim across America and start spouting out all these lies and bullshit for people to believe, all you people. The best number that anybody can come up with is we got close to 4,100 tigers in this country, which is not an emergency. How many people we got in this country? When the hell are you gonna stop bitching about people breeding and eating up our planet and everything else? But when you start talking about people traveling with cubs and taking pictures with cubs, and they're buying them for $1,000 and they're making $100,000, and they're traveling from south to north, and they're going through malls and setting up in Burger King parking lots, and they're taking pictures with cell phones and everything else. You know what I got to say to you? Because you said that when they're done with them tigers, on their way south, they turn them loose. There has been one tiger found in the country running loose down there in Texas that was hit along the side of the road. But you know something? It's bullshit people like you that start spouting out your mouth and getting the people that don't know any better to believe all this shit. Let me tell you where the big cat crisis is, and that's in the wild. Because you, mister, I think you're setting up there as some kind of investor in New York, buying all this shit that's tearing down their habitat in the wild. That's where the fucking tiger crisis is because as long as it's in your pocket, it doesn't matter if it's in the form of toilet paper, plywood, or something you eat. It's fine, is it not? But it's horrible because we got these things in captivity. 21 people have been killed in 21 years. That is not a fucking emergency. 21 people died on Interstate I-35 last night. The hell are you gonna do about that? Once again, I think I said this in another video. Shut your cars down and ride a fucking horse. Donald Trump, you're losing in the polls, my friend. I'm doing everything I can to try and help you out. Let me give you a little bit of ammunition real quick. Marco Rubio, down there in Florida, your name's on the wall of Big Cat Rescue down there. Now, if you think fucking America is gonna back somebody to run for this presidency that can support somebody with 60 counts of felony fraud, possibly ground her husband up and fed him to the fucking tigers, which would what? Consider you a supporter of a murderess? We damn sure ain't gonna let you become president of the United States, you crooked bastard. You need to do some soul searching and find out where the hell your name's hanging up. Because if I get this picture that I'm after your name, being as a supporter of Big Cat Rescue down there in Tampa, Florida, scamming the American public for $100,000 for a 15-year-old tiger, publicly, I'm gonna destroy you, buddy. So Donald, my man, you keep making fun of people while you're on these debates, and I'll keep throwing the fucking facts out there. And I hope these people write me in as president because I can't wait to get my feet in the middle of this shit. All right, Donald, so here's an offer for you. I want you to get your ass up there on Saturday Night Live this Saturday, and you need my help? I'm free Saturday night. I'll be tickled pink to go up there and sit with you, and let's put a stop to some of this crooked shit. Best thing that could happen to this country, Joe Exotic and Donald Trump on Saturday Night Live together. For the last 29 days, I've been asking you politicians 6 questions. And I'm gonna ask them to you again right now till you get tired of seeing them and hearing them until you puke. Here they are. Here in America, we have a war in the animal world and the animal rights people in order to take our rights away. And 62.8 million people here in America own pets, and we'd like to know your comments and your concerns about a few issues. Question number 1, how do you feel about 501c3 organizations here in America that are scamming the public for hundreds of millions of dollars to take care of animals, and none of it goes to the animals? 90% of it goes to lobbyists to pass laws to further their agenda. 2, it seems like terrorist is the #1 topic anytime you turn the news on anymore. Are you aware that our own government, the United States Department of Agriculture, declared PETA a #1 domestic terrorist in the United States on November the 30th, 2009, and they're still a nonprofit tax organization here in America? How can you be a terrorist and get a tax break from your own country right here in America? 3, we'd like to know your opinion on how you feel on online bullying, not only of children, but adults, in the name of free speech, in order to bash somebody and ruin their reputation and their good name, only to make money for yourself and get away with it under the Declaration of Free Speech. 4, we'd like to know, how come us Americans that own our own property, own our own houses, and pay taxes on them do not have the right to have our own pets that we choose to have on our property or in our homes? Number 5, do you not think that we Americans have the right to assume the risk of our profession, no different than a cop, a firefighter, an oil rig worker, or anyone else that has the assumption of the risk of their professions? It is our right. And please, if you become president, give us back our right. And number 6, one of the most important, and this kind of touched on your speech at the Oklahoma State Fair about things being made in other countries and taxing them when they come into America. Do you not believe that it should be a right that any product made from the rainforest or an animal's habitat somewhere in the world should be taxed in order to be sold in America, and that tax money go back to helping rebuild the habitat and the rainforest so some of these animals don't become extinct in the futures to come? All right, well, that's the 6 questions, ladies and gentlemen, that we've been asking for the last 29 days. And they're important to us. And, you know, the further I go into this shit, I think by the time I'm done, I'm going to have a few more questions to ask these people. But anyway, you American people, get on Twitter, get on Facebook, and you get Donald Trump to send that big-ass airplane down here and get me and him both on Saturday Night Live, because it'll be a show that Saturday Night Live has never fucking seen before. I'm Joe Exotic, and I'll see you tomorrow for video message number 31.